Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Nicole Attias with Prospect to Win. I am speaking to Sandy Rutherford today. She is a mindset coach. So, Sandy, if you just want to explain, what does that mean?
Well, hello, Nicole. Thank you for having me on. I've been looking forward to this. Yeah, I'm a mindset coach. First of all, I've been taught and mentored, and I worked with up until earlier this year, legendary Bob Proctor. And as we lost Bob at the beginning of this year, and so mindset Bob has been the kind of the master teacher of mindset teaching, coaching for 60 years. And mindset, I mean, it's funny, we all work on ways to improve our business, improve our life, and we go on sales courses, and we try to get more social media done. We got a marketing plan and we strategy. The biggest thing that stops any of us is our mindset. And what is our mindset? It's our way of thinking and feeling and behaving. It's all part of our subconscious programming, wiring, conditioning, paradigms, comfort zone. It's all the same thing. And that refers to mindset. So the biggest block for any of us is our mindset. It's not a lack of talent. It's not a lack of capability. We're all, we're barely scratching the surface of all that we are. So we don't lack talent or capability. Our mindset gets in the way 80% or more of the time. So the work that I do is helping people align mindset, our thoughts and feelings, our programming, with the kind of success they're looking for. And once that gets into alignment, it feels like magic happens. Things happen a lot more easily.
That's amazing. And you know what? It's true. It's about letting go of old beliefs. My
Mm-hmm.
my question is like how does this happen? Because we are so, like you said, programmed. If we were raised a certain way, we have that programming. If we were raised, a different way, we have a different programming. So how do you erase what you are familiar with? How do you erase that? That's like, it just seems like a never-ending battle for some people, right? I'd love to learn how to do that.
Well, and it's a great question because yes, that old programming is embedded really deep. It happens from infancy onwards, and usually that programming that we all develop is usually by well-intentioned people called parents and teachers and coaches and community leaders and friends, but it's just through repeated messaging, and it gets locked in there from a very early age. So in some of the aspects of our programming, like our self-image programming, it is harder to change, but that's what we work on, right? There's a whole methodology, there's a whole approach of how you change that programming. And just like a computer, I mean, our minds are just like a computer in many respects, but here's the one that counts in terms of this conversation. A computer can only do what it's programmed to do. You can only do what your programming allows. So, but a computer, if you upload new programming, the computer does new things. Well, same with us. So uploading new programming is a matter, again, of a process. There's a whole ways and means of how you upload new programming. And there's really only two ways that you can upload new programming. One is through emotional trauma or an emotional impact, like 9/11, like in a flash, or have a heart attack. Boom, you're thinking and feeling and operating very differently. Tends to be negative. We don't want to go that route. So the only other way is through the consistent repetition of positive new ideas that align with the kind of success you're looking for. And that's where there's a whole methodology of how you make that happen. How do you do that around your self-image? How do you do that with your beliefs around money or success? How do you do that around your beliefs around sales? There's a great example. Most people have a little bit of a negative or a lot negative perception around or belief around selling. Like it's about pestering people. It's sleazy. It's, I don't like trying to, right? Most people have a negative spin on selling. Well, that's just programming.
Yes.
So if
And
you just shift the way of thinking.
what about neuro-linguistic programming? Does this tie into any of the work that you do, or is it separate?
So an NLP is you'll see flavors of NLP in the work that we do, but the work that we do rises above and beyond what NLP, which is awesome. It's an awesome approach, but we work at more of a work again above and beyond that, because what we're looking at is how does success work? So success is related to obviously related to your programming, but success is also a process. That's an exact science to success. For example, all success begins with desire. You've got to get crystal clear about what it is you want to create in your life in terms of next level successes. Every one of us is a successful individual. We have numerous successes in our lives. We're engineered for success. But when you create next level success, which is outside your comfort zone, which means outside your programming, then you've got to do the right things to try to shift that programming into alignment. But again, it's more about creating a path to success. And what does success look like? You know what? If I ask people, can you tell me what are the things you got to do to be successful, and in what order? Not many hands will go up. If in a room of 1,000, not many hands will go up at all, if any, in that question. And yet there are certain things you got to do in a certain way, in a certain order, that allows success to unfold more easily. And so again, to your question, yes, you'll see flavors of NLP in what we do, but we cover so much more than NLP itself.
NLP, yeah. No, that's great. And so let's talk about how this relates to sales for a minute. I like that you mentioned, the association of that sleazy sales guy or sleazy sales girl or that car salesman or
Yeah.
right? And so it's that association. I think you're talking about associations, like mental associations as part of, the whole programming. So how can you change that mindset for sales? Like, how do you approach sales if you're new into it, or if you're a new entrepreneur, or if you're seasoned but you want to get better at it? Like, what could you start off doing in your day-to-day, for example, activities to be more successful in sales?
So there's obviously a sales approach. And that's taught in any high caliber sales training is a sales approach. But to your question, it's more above and beyond the actual approach to sales. And first of all, let me touch upon the fact that, our whole energy that we bring to a sales conversation is created by the thoughts we have, feelings we have, and the behaviors we have. So here's a very common situation. You could be thinking, out loud to yourself, okay, I'm going to do a good job here. I'm prepped. I know what I'm selling here. I love what I'm selling. And you think I've memorized the script or whatever, right? So you're thinking about it, and you've done all the actions. Okay, I have rehearsed the script. I'm sitting down. I'm going to sit down with this person, take all and shake their hand and get to know them. So there's all the behaviors you're looking for. But so those are two positives. I'm thinking positively and I'm behaving positively. But over on the feeling side is, they're not going to say yes. I'm going to blow this. I'm not a salesperson. And those are the feelings going on. Well, that creates what I call a wonky energy. That's very mixed message signaling going out, because thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all energy.
So it's a lot of this has to do with the feeling. It's the feeling. If you can't attach the positive feeling to the whole game plan, then people are going to pick up on it. People pick up if we're feeling happy, sad, stressed, worried.
Right.
That's what you're basically saying, right?
Right. And it's our programming that's all sitting in the subconscious mind. That's where our programming is. And the subconscious mind is the emotional mind. So it's your programming that's creating the feeling, even though you're trying to think positively and you're doing all the right behaviors, right? The programming, 96 to 98% of our day is guided by programming.
That's scary.
That's fact too. So you have to now work on, how do I get the feelings over to align on the positive, not just thinking and behaving. Well, it's again back to repetition. It's repetition of new ideas, new concepts around selling that will start. If I work those concepts with repetition, it'll start to get embedded at the subconscious level, sets up new programming and therefore new feelings. So here's a good one for your audience. Instead of thinking selling, think impact. I tell my clients that. Don't think sales, don't think selling, because we have these negative associations with the word sales or selling. Think impact. What if you're about to sit in front of a prospect today? You should be thinking not, how do I close the sale? No, don't think close sale. Think, how do I impact this person in a big way today? Because here's the thing, if you are focused, and that's a wonderful energy, right? Selling has a negative spin. Impact, we all want to have a positive impact on people. That's a higher vibe. It's a very different feeling, very different vibration. So if you're sitting in a meeting with a prospect and you're focused on how do I impact them today, then you're going to leave them better off. And even if, so they're either going to go, yeah, I would like to hear more about what you're doing, or I am interested in what you're selling, because you're focused on them and making a very positive impact. But at the very least, if you're leaving them with a very positive impact, and even if they're not ready to buy, or it's not a good fit for them, chances are they might go, you know what, I've really enjoyed what you've been presenting to me here, and I really get that it can really help. It's not for me, but you know what, there's someone I can refer you to. So you're going to get a positive outcome if you're just focusing on impact. And you know what, there's a law called the law of cause and effect. We are the cause. Our thoughts, our feelings, and behaviors are the cause, and the effect is all around us. So you focus on thinking and feeling about creating an impact, you will have a very positive effect. That's law.
I love it. Beautiful, beautiful. And before we end off, please tell me about your book. I know you have a book coming in October. If you want to just tell me a little bit about it, and you know what. Go ahead.
I would love to. Thank you. Well, first of all, we've rebranded, and our company name is called Inspired Destinies. So the website is inspireddestinies.com. And that's what that positive vibration around inspired destinies, like every one of us, again, has all the talent and capability. And our approach is to help people step into their inspired destiny. Now, the book that I have coming, it's my first solo book. The launch date is October 25th, and it's called Navigating the High Seas to Success. High C is a capital C, not SEA or ocean, right? Mm-hmm. Navigating the High Seas to Success. And so what it is, it's a very inspirational, high vibe kind of book that brings together so many of the learnings that I've learned over the years. I've worked with Bob Proctor for 6 years. And all my clients' learnings, and I've brought together so many of the key concepts of Bob or Tony Robbins or Mary Morrissey or Joe Dispenza. There's so many greats in this whole industry, or Napoleon Hill, for example. So what I've done as I've been immersed in this for over 6 years, and worked with my clients and seen how I have the different concepts that I've been working on and been internalizing. What I saw is that there are 8 steps. So this is an 8-step charted course to extraordinary success. And there are 8 chapters. Each chapter begins with the letter C, and which just happened to it happened to unfold that way, which is why I called it the high C's. And chapters like connection. You need to connect to your inner self, your authentic self, your inner voice, your inner spirit, whatever you want to call it. And you want to connect beyond yourself, because there's so much more to this whole universe than just little me. So connection is one. Creativity, getting creative about the kind of life you want to lead, getting clarity about the kind of life you really desire, the kind of success you really desire. Your conditioning, programming, paradigms, that's another one. Consistency, celebration, collaboration. So each chapter is not very long at all, but it's very, again, high vibe with some kind of hard-hitting inspirational concepts. And then each chapter is followed up by a quick assessment. Where are you on this particular concept, to give yourself an awareness? It's not meant to be a scientific assessment. It's just an awareness gauging assessment. And then an exercise for you to work on that particular concept. So it's a fun book. It's, as I say, a high vibe inspirational kind of book. And it will absolutely change the way you look at how do you create success. If you just follow these steps, you will see a whole different path open up to you. So I'm really excited, and it's been endorsed by some big names in the industry. And yeah, again, October 25th is the launch date. It'll be on Amazon.
Beautiful, beautiful. I look forward to it. And thanks again, Sandy.
Nicole, thank you so much. Appreciate it.